Together we can defeat them. So will you lend us support? I hopefully asked, keeping my fingers crossed. Lancelot took his time answering, calculating all the risk factors involved, but then he nodded his head. Arriving at Asher's home, we entered one after the other. As soon as I stepped inside, Oliver was waiting for us. He rushed towards me with his little arms open wide and a huge grin of relief on his face. "Anna, you are back. I missed you." I bent down and he hugged me tightly, bathing me in relief. "I missed you too, Oliver. How have you been?" I gently carried him to the sofa so we could sit and talk. Asher sauntered over and sat down beside us. "I am good. I was just lonely without you. But now that you are back, I am happy." My heart squished, knowing he wouldn't be pleased learning I had to go away again. About that, I have another important meetup with the pack who invited us to that dinner banquet, so I will be leaving tomorrow. Oliver's lips downturned at my words, but he quickly got his composure back and answered, "You know what, I think I will join you guys on this visit and can learn a few things." I didn't think it would be a good idea to take Oliver along. The situation was becoming perilous with every passing day, and I would never put him in harm's way. This negotiation I wanted to do on my own. It would be quicker, plus the former alpha of Dark Moon Pack trusted me, so it was better I would talk to him alone. "Actually, I am going alone tomorrow. You will stay with your father and we will talk on our return," I told him with a smile and patted his back. "Why? You don't want me to accompany you?" Asher asked apprehensively, spreading his thick legs and picking up the glass of water one of his guards had brought for him. I faced him and answered, "Your presence can be a little overwhelming for others. They clamp up instead of openly talking, too afraid that you will punish them for even saying a wrong word. I know former Alpha Lancelot and how he operates. Let me deal with him and gather any information we can get on the moonstones." I countered, but a long, deep crease had appeared on Asher's forehead. "Please, both of us are attracting too much attention recently, and it won't sit well with jealous people. Trust me on this," I added with my signature smile, and his rigid features relaxed a notch. "I trust you, Anna, and I want no harm to come to you. But I don't trust people like Ruby who are out there to harm you and have already done this much damage." Asher's eyes dangerously flashed. Concern was written all over his face. "I know, but I don't want them to find some excuse and not give out the information that's required. They might instigate you and you could end up using force against them, which will lead to a war breaking out between packs," I gently countered. Asher's facial expressions didn't relax, but I kept pleading with doe eyes, rapidly batting my eyelashes at him. "Fine, but I will accompany you and stay at the border of the Dark Moon Pack. You can go in alone, but let me be there as your support. If you need any help, I will be close by for assistance," he answered, giving in, and I relaxed. Although Oliver clasped my hand and whined, he wasn't happy with this development. "I don't like this, Anna. You just returned and now you are leaving again." I affectionately smiled at him and leaned in to place a kiss on Oliver's cheek. "I promise to return soon, and then we will watch Tom and Jerry together." A cute smile returned to his face as he became excited at the prospect of watching cartoons. That kiss was a big incentive as well. He hopped onto my lap and wished to be held. I gladly complied while Asher took out his phone to order takeout. "Chinese?" he questioned with a subtle smile. "I am dying for some spicy chow mein, so yes please," I answered while raking my fingers through Oliver's hair. "I want some dumplings, Dad," Oliver pipped in while remaining seated in my lap. Asher placed the order and both of us got up to bring out the plates. The meal was a fun time. Asher and Oliver told me jokes to lighten my mood. I loved spending every second with them. After the meal, I tucked Oliver into bed. He wished to hear a bedtime story, and then another, and then another. 5 stories later, he finally drifted off to sleep, and I slowly left his room, turning off the light. I quietly made my way to my room to prepare for the next day. I chose simple black jeans with a cropped emerald green top and combat boots. I could kick ass in heels just fine, but boots would be comfortable. I wanted comfy. I had a disturbed sleep and woke up early to take a shower and get ready. Oliver was still asleep when I was ready to head out. I went to check up on Asher and he emerged from his room smelling like the early arrival of winter. Dressed in snow-white slacks and a tee with matching loafers, the man was nothing less than a model posing for the cover of some famous fashion magazine. My mouth almost drooled seeing him, and with difficulty, I tore my eyes off him. A smug smile he carried as he drew near me and held my wrist, twirling me towards him. Asher, I cocked my brow at his actions. I want you to reward me similarly as you did Oliver last night. Drawing closer, he sultrily whispered in my ear. I bit my lip to not let a chuckle fall through. He still remembered that kiss. Jealous much? I asked, leaning closer to him. You could say that. His voice slightly trembled as my lips softly caressed his cheek. Tint of red I saw. His smile broadened as if he had conquered the world. Asher Ludwig, the Alpha King, was blushing because I kissed his cheek. Before we could head out, Oliver woke up and rushed towards us. I want to accompany you as well. Please, take me. I will be a good boy and stay with my father in the car, he pleaded in his cute voice, and I couldn't say no. All right, come. Yeah! He jumped in the air and the three of us left the house together. Asher and Oliver dropped me off outside the Dark Moon Pack with a bunch of instructions. After reassuring them for the 100th time that I will be careful, I finally descended the car and approached the gates of the pack. Bards thoroughly searched me before taking me inside towards the office of their Alpha. Alpha Ezra was the eldest son of Alpha Lancelot and had ascended to the position after his father's retirement. Ezra was too stiff in his beliefs and I had never liked him. Reaching his office, I entered with his permission and found him sitting on his executive chair, his legs on the lacquered desk and his hands steepled in front. Hi, Alpha Ezra, I was hoping we could talk. I knew you would turn up at some point. Why are you here? He bluntly asked without any greetings. His blue eyes were cold, like frozen cold, as they took me in. I moved closer and occupied the seat opposite him, ignoring his rude behavior but keeping direct eye contact, telling him that I wasn't deterred by his actions. Men and their tactics to subdue women as if we were lesser beings. I am here on behalf of the Shadow Knight Warriors pack, I stated. Go on, he firmly said. As you must have heard about Noah's injuries, they had been caused by his chosen mate Ruby, as she is a spy of the Shadow Howl pack. They wish to take complete control of the pack, and knowing them, they wouldn't stop there. Next, they will come for you. So let's shake hands and prevent further attacks and damage. I explained in detail, hoping he would put aside his rigidity and see some sense in what I was saying. His nose wrinkled while he spoke and he brought his legs down from the desk, straightening his spine and puffing out his chest. I heard you joined an assassin organization after running away from Howler City. You might have been Alpha Carol's daughter, but now you are just a measly assassin. I can't work with someone who kills people professionally. His words and expressions clearly revealed he felt disgusted by me. I wished to get up and punch his head to beat some sense into him, but I kept my cool. He wasn't worth it and I needed him to cooperate. Plastering a smile that would have put the Cheshire Cat to shame, I spoke in a sweet voice. A girl had to survive. You can't judge me for my profession. Bigger things are at stake here. Let's put that behind us and move towards the common goal. You are a smart man. I know you will understand. I just want peace. The Ezra's head was in his ass and he couldn't get past the fact that I was an assassin. I can judge you and will judge you. For all I know, you shot Noah for your revenge and now blaming it on Ruby. Fancy how a murderer is talking about peace. I will not collaborate with you, he definitively said, proving he was another shitty alpha. If you could ponder over my suggestion, I tried once again, but he shook his big head, which seemed to be empty or possessed a peanut brain. It's better if you leave, Anna, or my Gamma warriors will have to escort you out, he sternly said, pointing to the door. In that instant, it flew open and the former Alpha Lancelot entered. Anna, what a pleasant surprise, how are you? Lancelot's face widened in a grin seeing me there. Always an honor to meet you. I came here to discuss some points with Alpha Ezra, but he refuses to even consider them. I shrugged with my lean shoulders and raised both my hands. Alpha Lancelot threw a confused look towards his son, who instantly told him about my assassin status. Is that true, Anna? Are you associated with the shadow from Crescent Island? He asked. The smile on his face had disappeared. Oh boy, men and their need to see weak women, I thought to myself before replying. Yes, it's true. It was the only way to survive for me, but I have got nothing to do with Noah's shooting. You can ask him when he gains consciousness again. I tried to provide reassurance and went into explaining what happened that day and Ruby's whole involvement. While Ezra was skeptical, Alpha Lancelot was intrigued and stated, "Tell me everything, Anna. I would like to speak with you alone." Ezra butted in before I could speak with the most stupid question. "Dad, you can't trust an assassin. What if she is here to kill you?" I wanted to facepalm myself but clutched the handles of my chair tightly to snub the urge. Would I come to their pack to kill his dad? The place where he was most secure? "I trust Anna. No need to say such words." Alpha Lancelot stiffly answered his son. "But Dad," he began. But Lancelot raised his hand to shut him up. "That's enough, Ezra. Stand down and let me talk to Anna and hear her side of the story. Let's go to my study." Alpha Lancelot instructed, and I quickly left my seat. "You better not try any of your assassin shit, or you will leave my pack in a body bag," he threatened in all seriousness. I wanted to poke out my tongue at him, but checked myself just in time, flashing him a huge smile at my victory, which irritated him further. I turned around. Following former Alpha Lancelot, I entered his well-furnished study. It smelled of old books and fine whiskey. "Have a seat, Anna." He pointed towards the leather sofa with comfortable cushions. I plopped myself down and made myself home. "So tell me everything," he requested, picking up the canter and pouring out the amber-shaded whiskey in 2 glasses and offering one to me. "Oh, I have plenty to tell. Hopefully your mouth won't drop down on the floor once I finish," I said with a click of my tongue while accepting the glass and taking a small sip. So I began by telling him everything that had happened 6 years ago. Ruby and Noah's betrayal and their involvement in killing my father and other important family and pack members. "Oh, I am ready. Go on, Anna." Lancelot took another sip of his whiskey. I informed him I never colluded with any rogues. They were all made-up stories. And then how I had to join the Shadow organization to become strong because Ruby killed my wolf with aconite. Every revelation had Lancelot's eyes widening and his angered grunts becoming louder. "Those two, I never thought they would be so evil. I am so sorry, Anna. I wasn't there to protect you. What must John think of me? What kind of friend am I who couldn't protect his daughter?" Lancelot was shaking from the anger and all the lies Noah and Ruby had concocted. I knew it wasn't Lancelot's fault. They had everyone fooled. So I comforted him. "I don't blame you. No one would have believed me because of the false evidence they brought, but I am all set for revenge while trying to minimize all the damage they have caused, and hoping what happened to my pack will not be repeated with some other pack. Now I understand your anger and your choices. You did what you had to, and I am proud of you, Anna," Lancelot reassuringly said, placing the glass back on the table over a coaster. I relaxed a bit knowing Lancelot had believed me. Shadow Howl is still a threat to my pack and to every other pack in Howler City. I would like to request your cooperation in this matter. Together we can defeat them. So will you lend us support? I hopefully asked, keeping my fingers crossed. Lancelot took his time answering, calculating all the risk factors involved, but then he nodded his head. "Dark Moon will stand with your pack in this time of need. Count us in." His words sent this wave of happiness and ease coursing through me, relaxing my tensed muscles. "Yes, thank you so much. Your support means a lot to me." I genuinely appreciated him. He nodded his head with a tiny smile pecking at the corners of his lips. "One more question," I hopefully asked. The main question I had come here for. "Go on. Does the Dark Moon have any moonstone?" My question seemed to have put him on the edge, because I saw that small smile falter and disappear from his face. "I can't discuss moonstone business with you, Anna," he added rather dryly. His eyes were all businesslike now. "But I can assure you one thing, Anna. I wouldn't let any more packs to be invaded by Shadow Howl. We will unite all packs in Howler City against them. That's my promise to you." His words were not empty, and I could sense that he was sincere in his support and would talk to Ezra. But it slightly pinched me at the same time, knowing he didn't fully trust me. I felt helpless because I had no one else to ask about Moonstone. I placed my empty whiskey glass down. Its aftertaste swirled in my throat as I got up and straightened my dress. "I appreciate your help a lot. Both our packs have a history, and I am glad you have continued to support us." Lancelot did the same with a gentle smile. "Our doors are always open for you, Anna. Don't hesitate, and don't mind Ezra. He is young and new to all this alpha business. Young blood tends to get heated quickly. He will learn patience with time. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at his words. Ezra definitely needed a lot of growing up to become the alpha of his father's caliber. I am sure he has an amazing mentor in your form. Lancelot's chest puffed up at my words and he couldn't help but smile. Flattery always has its perks. You are too kind to me, Anna. Stay for a late lunch. Lancelot walked me out as he proposed the lunch date, but I wish to get back to Oliver and Asher. Another time. I have a lot of unfinished work, but before I go, I just want to tell you something important. I adjusted my facial expressions to appear serious. It was a serious matter indeed. I am listening, Lancelot said as we reached outside the pack house. The moonstone that was in my father's possession has already been stolen. Other moonstones have been used to weaken the seal of the demon. Do you understand what can happen if all the moonstones end up in the wrong hands? The demon will be unsealed and our world will be plunged into chaos. So I will say again, if you have a moonstone in your pack, guard it very safely or it might end up in Shadow Howl's hands, I informed him in all seriousness. Your concern is valid, Anna. That's indeed a very serious matter, one that needs further pondering over, he responded while walking me out towards the pack's main gates. Goodbye, hope to see you soon. We shook hands and I walked out of the steel gates after a successful negotiation. My heart was at ease that I wasn't returning empty-handed and had earned his appreciation as well as cooperation. Working together was in favor of all the packs. As my feet carried me towards Asher's car, the thought of those two waiting for me filled my brain. I couldn't help but smile and my heart picked up its beats. Both of them had become a permanent part of my life, and now I couldn't imagine it without them.
Sitting in the car, my anxiety was touching the roof. I should have never let Anna go in alone for the negotiation. What was I thinking? Was I thinking at all? What if something happened to her? What if she gets shot again or thrown into a dungeon? She indeed had a sharp mouth which could land her in trouble. My right leg was unconsciously fidgeting as I drummed my thigh in agitation with the tips of my fingers. Without knowing, my negative emotions were projecting out through my aura. Oliver, sitting beside me, was playing a video game on his Nintendo Switch. Suddenly, he turned to face me and said annoyingly, "Your emotions are all over the place. Get a hold of yourself. You are blasting me with all this negativity." I turned to face my son, and he had a scowl on his face. "I am?" I asked, almost innocently. "Yes. You are acting so immature, worrying about Anna like this. Do you think she will like a man who won't trust in her abilities and projected his fears on a small child?" He haughtily answered. His lips twitched sideways. Oliver was right, though. I shouldn't let my emotions seep through so easily. I had to mask them better. "I am sorry, Oliver. I didn't realize." Oliver's little hand extended and squeezed my arm. "Trust her." His words had such an assuring effect that my heart instantly relaxed, and I nodded at my intelligent son. We didn't have to wait too long after that. Anna came rushing towards the car with a broad smile on her face. Relief washed over me seeing her back and smiling. My heart raced to seeing her beautiful face and that curtain of her auburn hair. Oliver quickly opened the door and went to greet her. "You good?" She patted his head and replied with her signature smile. "I am. Let's go home. I will brief you guys." She settled inside the passenger seat with me and I asked, "Shall we?" "Yes, I am starving." I started the car and we headed back. I decided to treat Anna to a very lavish dinner today. She had deserved it. She fumbled with the stereo and turned on very light music. Anna then faced me and began to tell us how the negotiations went. I was glad that we had another pack on our side, but a bit disappointed too that the old cunt refused to talk about the moonstone. "Don't worry, we will find the moonstones with or without Darkmoon's help. At least they are on our side on this." True. If it had been in Ezra's hands, he would be rolling in Ruby's feet soon. She clicked her tongue in distaste and I couldn't blame her. The she-devil kept slipping from our hands. "Don't worry, Anna. She will get what's coming for her," Oliver assured her from behind, and both of us nodded at him. Reaching home, Anna went to freshen up and change while I set to order a lavish dinner for the three of us so we could sit together as a family and enjoy. "Oliver, help me set the table," I asked my son, and he was more than happy to do that. By the time Anna came outside from her room, we had arranged the table for her. I had gone a bit extra and asked Hayden to bring some fresh roses and place them in the center of the table. Hayden also brought along the documents I had asked him to have prepared. Soon Anna emerged from her room in red shorts and t-shirt. Wow, her eyes sparkled seeing all the array of dishes and the fresh flowers. Their scent filled the dining hall. Oliver ran towards her and grabbed her hand, bringing her to the table. "What's the occasion?" she asked, swiping her tongue on her lower lip and seeing special wonton soup, Peking roasted duck, and other dishes. "I just wanted the three of us to have a comfortable dinner together. Come, let's eat." The three of us settled down and offered prayers before digging into our food. "Anna, did you get to kick more butt today?" Oliver asked, keeping a very innocent face, and she couldn't help but pinch his cheek with a small chuckle. "No, but Ezra was asking for it. If his father hadn't arrived, I might have," she answered, placing a small piece of duck in her mouth and chewing. The sound of the cutlery and their conversation flowed, and both of them got totally absorbed in each other. A surge of jealousy erupted inside me. I wished for Anna to give me all of her attention, to have her plastered to my chest, rubbing her body on it, to be bathed purely in my scent, to be alone with her so I could feel those lips against mine. Blaze took the opportunity to surface and tease me. "You are jealous of your own pup. Some father you are." I grunted in my head. "I am very possessive when it comes down to Anna. She is only mine." After we had finished dinner, Anna and Oliver thanked me for such a scrumptious meal. I heartily smiled at them and called Hayden. "Why don't you take Oliver for some ice cream and then to that new aquarium?" "Ice cream? Aquarium?" Oliver's face lit up like the sun, but then he turned to Anna. "Come with me." "No, Anna is tired. Let her rest now. She will accompany you next time," I told him, and Anna agreed. "I promise we will go together soon, but for now, I need some sleep." Oliver understood and pecked Anna's cheek before leaving with Hayden. Once the door closed, I extracted the documents I had gotten prepared and handed the file to Anna. "Here, have a look. These are pack asset documents. Will give you a better understanding of how to run your pack." Her hands shook as she accepted the file from me, and I could see her eyes shimmering with gratitude. "Oh, Asher, thank you," she whispered in a shaking voice. The emotions got the better of her.
Firstly, such a lavish dinner with flowers, and now the documents. What was this man doing to my heart? I peeked at him with gratitude-filled eyes, and my voice came out heavy as I thanked him. Asher leaned closer until there was a distance of a few inches between us. Taking a stray strand of my crimson lock, he twirled it on his index finger and asked in a deeply husky voice, "Is that all you are going to offer, Anna?" He tucked the hair behind my ear, and his thumb grazed my cheek, making my skin sweetly tingle and my cheeks burn. I understood that a simple thank you won't suffice this time. "What do you want, Asher?" I asked, trying to keep my voice from quivering so much. His eyes danced in mischief as he answered in his deeply throaty voice that hit straight in my core. "You know exactly what I want." His silky words were all I could hear. The heat scalded my whole face, and I lowered my gaze to escape those alluring eyes of his. They wished to trap me, but my gaze went straight to his perfectly shaped lips, as if they had been designed to be kissed. Unintentionally, my gaze stayed on them, and I leaned in, wishing to take them between mine and let their softness entice me. My own lips slightly parted, and I licked them. Asher was observing my reactions, and he boisterously chuckled, breaking the trance that I had been stuck inside. Annoyance crept up on my face, and I rolled my eyes at him before trying to push him away with my hand. "Let me check out the documents," I said, clearing my throat. A hand touched his rugged chest, and I felt his heaving, sinewy muscles underneath my fingertips. Sparks of static electricity seemed to erupt everywhere. My skin touched him. Before I could pull my hand away, he caught my wrist and let my hand explore every contour of his chest. "Not so fast," he slowly whispered, making goosebumps blanket my whole body. My breath was stuck in my chest as he guided my hand up towards his smooth neck and then his mouth. Opening it slowly, he plopped my fingers inside and began to slowly suck at them. There was so much want and desire in his eyes that I couldn't resist anymore. The fire of passion was consuming me. Leaning in, I extracted my hand and smashed my greedy lips against his. He seemed to have been as starved as I was, for he grabbed my waist and pulled me onto himself. I straddled him on the sofa and snaked my hands into his silky hair, deepening the kiss. His hands fumbled with my top and soon he peeled it off my skin. My lacy bralette met the same fate and it landed somewhere behind us. I whimpered inside his mouth when his hands found my breasts and he tweaked them with his palms. "Arr!" I groaned in his mouth. Soon he was pulling onto my erect nipples with his thumb and index finger while plunging his coarse tongue inside my mouth. It collided with mine and I let him dominate the kiss. A warm tide rose within me, my body thrumming with an unspoken hunger as I pressed closer to him, feeling the firm heat beneath his slacks, a promise of the fire that waited. He let go of my mouth and latched onto my right nipple, nibbling and slurping at it. Ah! My back arched, giving him more access to my skin. His other hand slithered down between us and inside my panties, to the warm, damp place where my body ached most. "Do you want to let the storm break in my palm? Or let us ride the current together to the edge of the world?" he dazedly asked, his fingers moving in a steady rhythm that sent sparks through me. Sure," I shamelessly moaned, turning beetroot at his bold question. "Tell me, Anna," he asked again, tipping my head forward so I would stare into his lusty eyes. "The current that calls to me," I breathed out with difficulty. "Take it then, it's all yours," he hoarsely answered, and my hands slipped down. My fingers shook as I opened the buttons of his slacks. His hips elevated from the sofa and I pulled the slacks down, followed by his underwear, revealing the firm, warm line of him, glistening like dew on a morning branch. "Ride the current with me, Anna," he wantonly asked. So many desires circled his eyes. I swallowed and nodded. Flipping down my pants, I took hold of him, feeling the pulse beneath my touch. Asher threw his head back and let out a moan as my shaking fingers wrapped around him, moving gently. I guided him to the place where my body ached for him, and we merged, fitting together like two pieces of a forgotten puzzle. Every part of me felt full, alive, and I whimpered as Asher grabbed my waist, letting out a wild groan of his need. "Good girl. Let it adjust and then move," he whispered, tracing his lips on the juncture of my neck and shoulder. His teeth placed a small bite on the soft flesh there, making my whole body tremble with a raw need. In this position, every movement felt like reaching into the deepest parts of me. Holding onto his shoulders, I began to move. My breasts bounced as our thighs slapped against each other. Sound was so loud in the living room, mingled with my moans and Asher's grunts, that I feared even neighbors would hear. But he didn't seem to care. Asher's hand slipped down and grabbed my hips. He squeezed them, making the heat pool inside me further, and then he slapped my bottom, hard. It zinged, and the pain mixed with pleasure, sending a jolt straight to my core, making me yelp. "More, I want more of that," I shamelessly asked, and Asher repeated more of that, making me yelp so hard. The edge of release was so close I could taste it, a storm waiting to break. I picked up the pace as Asher caressed my heated skin. It was giving me feelings of pins and needles, and yet I welcomed it. "Let the storm break, Anna," Asher desperately demanded, smashing his lips back on mine again, and I melted like ice on fire, letting the wave carry me away. In the next few days, I prepared for the press conference I was supposed to hold to announce my return to the world and prove that I was innocent. Asher helped and guided me a ton. He booked and arranged for the hall and sent invitations to all major news channels, agencies, and journalists. Even the alphas of all the major packs of Howler City had been invited. The day of the press conference arrived and I chose a neat white blouse and black pleat skirt with leggings. My hair were professionally tied up in a bun at the back of my head. Hall was brimming with people and activity. Cameras flashed as everyone discussed the topic of the press conference. Standing backstage, my hands fidgeted and sweat broke out on my temples when Asher placed this warm one on my shoulder. "Relax, it will be all right. I will be right behind the curtain." His reassuring voice took away some of the tension from my straining shoulders. I silently nodded. Drawing in a deep breath, I finally headed towards the hall's main stage with tons of mics already placed on it. Soon as I appeared on the stage, the hall went silent. The cameras clicked and started recording, while pictures were flashed. I confidently seated myself on the chair. Resting my arms on the lacquered wooden table, I crossed my hands. With my spine erect and head held high, I faced the hundreds of people who had gathered to hear my story. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I am Anna Carroll, daughter of John Carroll and only heir to the Carroll Industries. Today I want to share my story with the world. All ears and eyes in the hall were on me as I began by explaining how I was framed and then left to die, how my wolf was lost and everything Ruby and Noah did to me. I even showed the original notarized documents where Noah had transferred the ownership of the pack to me. Murmurs and whispers followed my revelations and several journalists raised their hands to ask me questions. Taking a sip of water, I nodded my head at the one in front with a hairstyle like Elvis Presley. "So where have you been for the past 6 years?" He stood up and asked in the mic. I was becoming stronger, so I trained with an organization. I didn't reveal my assassin side to them and promptly said, "Next question, what are your plans regarding Ruby and Noah? Will you press charges against them or simply remove them from the way?" Another journalist questioned. I took a deep breath before answering. "I will take the right way to deal with them. But if they attack me again, I will be left with no choice but to defend myself." I answered a few more questions when I saw a similar face in the crowd. It was Kyle, the leader of the Shadow Howl pack. My eyes narrowed at him as raised his hand with an evil smile playing on his lips. He was trying to challenge me as if I would be too afraid to not take his question or whatever he wished to say. "Yes," I pointed towards him with a professional smile. He couldn't deter me. His hand tapped the armrest of his chair as he mockingly spoke. "I have to commend you for your efforts, Anna. Being a prime suspect in shooting your own father, members of your pack, and Noah Carroll, you have quite the audacity to conduct this press conference." His lips twisted upwards, and I understood his nefarious intentions. I kept the smile going and stayed relaxed. "Mr. Kyle, the Carroll Group of Industries and Night Shadow Warriors pack is mine by birthright, and I guarantee you that within a month I will be taking control of both, whether you like it or not." My smile widened seeing his falter. The media went into another frenzy seeing me challenge Kyle like that. More questions were thrown at my side, which I answered patiently. Unlike the other party, I had nothing to hide. Once all the questions had been answered, I finally got up and went backstage, seeming triumphant. Escher was waiting for me with a bright smile. Wrapping an arm around my waist, he pulled me into himself and placed a tender kiss on my head. "You did great, Anna. You faced everyone on your own. I am so proud of you." My heart swelled hearing his praising words and I melted into his touch. "What's next now?" I asked as I let Asher lead me away. "Now we put you out there, telling the world that you are as much part of this as others are. You will attend every social function held in Howler City. Everyone should know that the true heiress is back so they can discard the fake one." Social gatherings were important. They revealed your status in the society and I needed to build up my reputation. "Sounds like a plan. Should we go shopping? Help me choose some evening gowns," I wistfully asked as he opened the back door of the car for me. "Let's do it, Alpha Anna Carroll." He purposely addressed me with my full title and winked. I couldn't help but chuckle.